Hi, today we're making Korean japchae. If you are looking for a really authentic Korean version of japchae, there are a lot out there to choose from. Today we'll be making my version, which is just slightly different. Today our dish will be vegetables and sweet potato starch noodles. This dish is gluten-free. The soy sauce I'm using today does have gluten in it. There are gluten-free options out there if you want to make this a truly gluten-free recipe. Let's get started. Let's review our ingredients for today. Starting off, we have toasted sesame seeds, vegetable oil, toasted sesame oil, soy sauce, baby spinach. We do have sugar. Now this is a lot less than other recipes call for, so I hope you don't mind. I'm actually using sugar in this recipe. Next we have our garlic, our sweet potato starch noodles, mini bell peppers, onion, scallions, carrots, and mushrooms. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is cut up half of our mushrooms, and we're going to put them in a special mix. We'll just call it our mushroom mix. How's that? When I was washing the mushrooms, I did take out the stem. Now you can save the stem and use it in another recipe. Okay, let's finish up our mushroom mix so that we can let it marinate. Okay, also in our mushroom mix, we're going to have 1 of our cloves of garlic. We are going to add in 2 teaspoons of our soy sauce and 1 teaspoon of our toasted sesame oil. Try and get the mushrooms all covered with the sauce. Now that it's all mixed up, we're just going to set this to the side. Okay, what we're going to do next is get all of our vegetables chopped and set aside for when we're ready to cook them. Okay, next we're going to cut up our mini bell peppers. You can always use regular sized if you would like. I like the variety pack. Okay, next we're going to cut our scallions. Now there's not much of a white part on this, so we're going to try and just cut it to right here. Just cut these into fine little circles here. Okay, and we're going to keep that part separate from the rest of the scallion. So for the green part, we want to cut it about 1 inch to 2 inches long. Okay, next we're going to do half of this onion here. Okay, we just have a few things left to chop here. We're going to mince the rest of our garlic. And chop up the rest of our mushrooms. Okay, now I've got 1 pot here that I'm going to blanch our spinach in, and I've got another one here to cook our noodles in. One word about the sweet potato starch noodles. You can buy these online if you don't have time to go or you're not close to an international grocery store. They come in a huge pack usually. We will be using 4 ounces today. We've got a nice boil going on here, so we're going to add in all of our spinach. I've just got 5 ounces here today. You can always use more. Now we're just going to let this boil for 30 seconds. That's it. Okay, we want to stop the cooking process. So we're going to run this under a lot of cold water. Now what we want to do is squeeze all of the water that we can out of it. So in our bowl here, we're just going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. We are going to cook our carrots first and then add in our peppers, since the carrots take longer to cook. So I've got my pan here. I've added probably 1.5 teaspoons or a little more of extra virgin olive oil. Any kind of cooking oil you would like to use is fine. And I've got the heat turned to medium high, just waiting for the oil to be ready. Okay, so let's start with our carrots. Like I said, we just want to cook these about a minute and a half. All right, we're going to go ahead and add in all of our peppers. All right, now we just want to cook this maybe about another minute. We're going to cook our onions next. The white part of the scallions and our onions. You really don't need to cook these long. You'll be able to tell they're nice and fragrant pretty quickly. So we're actually just going to go ahead and add in everything else here. Our mushrooms, scallions, and our garlic. We're just going to cook these about a minute to 2 minutes until they're nice and soft and the onions are somewhat translucent. Finally, we're going to cook our mushroom mix. Now we really don't have to cook this long. Probably about 30 seconds to a minute again. All right, we're gonna mix this a little bit. Okay, we're gonna add in 1 more teaspoon of soy sauce, and we're gonna add in our tablespoon of sugar. Now the best way to mix this is honestly with your hands. So I'm gonna get some kitchen gloves and start mixing. Let's mix this up really good. Okay, let's taste it. It's so good. Now this dish is not without carbs. I suggest having numerous servings from this big recipe. Thanks so much for joining me.